Hello friends, I am back. Today I am going to go through some of my Jeffree Star collection and explain how I got this eye look right here. This was created by the Blood Sugar palette from Jeffree Star. This is probably my favorite palette out of the collection that I have. But first, if you haven't already liked this video, go ahead and like this video. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, just go down and hit subscribe. And I am going to start doing some more videos going through my collection. And somebody asked me to do a decluttering video. Not really sure how much I want to declutter, but it's interesting, so I think I will. I do have a ton of extra products that I don't use, I probably never will use. So one of these days I'll sit down and film a video of all the extra products that I have. So I guess it's a decluttering in a sense, because I'll be, either putting them up on a Mercari site or doing a big giveaway for some. So without further ado, let's get into this collection and let me tell you how I achieved this eye look. So again, it is through the Blood Sugar by Jeffree Star. This is, I think, the first palette he put out in this collection. And I love how he did them. He put them in almost like this coffin type box. And I don't know, just that whole idea, I absolutely adore it. Because I am into all the spiritual things. And this just reminded me of a coffin. I visit Mississippi every year to visit my son. And we usually go to New Orleans, and I love shopping the streets in New Orleans and hitting all of those voodoo shops and mystical shops and crystal shops. And I've had a couple of psychic readings down there. And quite honestly, the psychics down there are by far better than I've ever seen here in New York. They've pretty much hit things right straight on. And believe it or not, they're a lot cheaper down there in New Orleans. You would think that it'd be more expensive just because of, New Orleans and their God, what's the word? Their ideals of, everybody thinks it's such a spiritual town. You'd think it would be way more expensive there, but it's not. I think I paid $45 for an hour reading, and they did bare bones, which was pretty neat. That was the last one I did a couple of years ago. Very interesting. So if you're ever in New Orleans, check out some of those shops on Bourbon Street, because a lot of them do psychic readings, and it's very inexpensive and typically, right on. So anyway, again, back to Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette. I achieved this look today using these colors, this look. Valentine's Day is coming up, so I did sort of a Valentine's Day look with this palette. I take a lot of my inspiration from today from a YouTuber called Angela Bright. If you don't subscribe to Angela's channel, you should. She is an awesome makeup artist. Like, she does some incredible looks. So my inspiration from this look today was from one of her videos. So basically what I did was I started out with this color, and again, I can't see very well up close, so Tongue Pop. I started out with Tongue Pop, and I ran Tongue Pop right into my crease. And from Tongue Pop, I went into, after that, and I deepened the crease up with the color Cavity, which is this color right here, this pinky, very pinky purple color. So I put that, over Tongue Pop right in my crease. Then I took my finger and I took the Tongue Pop and just packed that with my finger right all over my entire lid. And it's an extremely pigmented, beautiful color. From there, I took and cut crease, just like a half cut crease. And over that cut crease, and I actually just used, for my cut crease, I have a Jouer concealer, and that color is in Creme. So I used that to do my cut crease with. And I only did it not even quite halfway through, But then I took this color here called Candy Floss, and I put Candy Floss over the concealer. And you can use any sparkly color. I chose the Tongue Pop. No, sorry, Candy Floss. I need to get with it today. It's not a good day for me. But then I decided, well, you know what? I kind of wanted an extra pop of something. So I went into this, it's almost like an orangey glittery shade called Sweetener. And I just put Sweetener just in that very, very outer edge. And then I took this white color here called Glucose, and I accented my inner corner with Glucose. Now for the bottom line, I took Fresh Meat, and I went, you know, just under here with Fresh Meat all the way around and blended that in. I added a little bit more of the Tongue Pop to just kind of blend that and diffuse it out a little bit. But then we took the color Extraction, which is this purple here, and put that, you know, all over just this outer edge. But I didn't feel that that color Extraction was quite deep enough for what I wanted to do. So I took Coma, which is the darkest purple in this palette, and I added that just to the very outer corner and slightly winged that up into a wing. And then I personally like black eyeliner. I tend to always use black eyeliner on my upper lid, so I went ahead and did the black eyeliner on the top. Angela did not do that. She just went with fake lashes, and I was too lazy to do fake lashes today, so I didn't do those. But then from there, I took a rollerball pen, and just in a white. The color is, what is this color? The Eye Bright Pencil by Rollerball. And I put that in my waterline. And again, for some reason, these whites don't really stand out in my waterline. So I went and took a little bit more of this Glucose color and put that on my waterline, because sometimes I will use shadows versus a liner for my waterline. I find it sometimes works better. You can get if you get a pretty decent creamy eyeliner, they'll go in really good. I have one by Pixie that was pretty, you know, inexpensive, and that one's really creamy and works really good in your eyeliner or your waterline. But I didn't really want to do black today, so I followed Angela and went with the white Rollerball, or just the Eye Bright Pencil, and did that. So that is how I created this look. And I also took this Glucose color and put that under my brow bone, and just went ahead and, you know, put mascara on my eyelashes, because again, I was just too darn lazy to put lashes on. But this palette, so good. It's one of my favorites, and I really like they clamp down and then clamp back up. They are a little bit tougher to open. They kind of stick a little bit, so you gotta kind of sometimes really pull on it. But I know I have used the crap out of this palette when I first got it, and you can see I've barely put a dent in it. So these palettes last forever. I think it was around $58. So it's pretty standard for most of these, you know, bigger eyeshadow palettes, but I don't think I'll ever hit pan on it, because like I said, I've used it a ton, and they really, you can still see the emblems in each shade for the most part, and it just doesn't ever seem to run out. I don't think I will ever run out of this shadow. I also have a huge collection of makeup in general, so I don't use half of them or give them as much love as I'd like to, just because I have so many, and I, you know, go from one to another every day. So definitely my favorite out of the group, but I got some pretty darn good ones. So the next palette I have in Jeffree's collection is Blue Blood. This was the second one I purchased. again, I think I bought it mainly because of the packaging. I absolutely adore his packaging. So again, it's your coffin shape. They just pull up. That one's only got the one. And then it opens up and you have all of these gorgeous blues. I mean, and these they're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But this one here, it's extremely powdery though, almost flaky. Oops, closed up on me. See, it's almost, this one's almost flaky. Now that one I've put a dent in. This one it's a really soft, creamy shadow, but the color payoff, incredible. Love it. I'm not going to really go through and do a bunch of swatches because I'm sure, you know, other people have done swatches on these palettes, but some of them are just, I don't know, they're incredible. This is like a blue-green. The color is Untitled. That one's really pretty too. I have done some eye looks. Blues are tend to be pretty hard to blend. I've usually had difficulties blending blues, especially back in the 80s when makeup wasn't nearly as good as it is today. I could never blend a blue to where it would look good on me. But these, I gotta say, blend incredible. They all blend really well together and you can get some gorgeous looks with this palette. So another good one in this collection. Grab a makeup wipe so I can wipe off my messes here. Let's get them wiped off my fingers. So the next one that I purchased, again, same style from Jeffree, is the Conspiracy Palette. Now, at first, I did not want the Conspiracy Palette. Why? I don't know. I just, for some reason, just wasn't really feeling the Conspiracy Palette. But then they had a sale when people started boycotting Jeffree Star for his beliefs or his drama, whatever you want to call it. Me, I'm just here for the makeup. I try to stay out of their drama, but the makeup is outstanding. So I buy the makeup. I'm here for the makeup. I'm a makeup lover, and that's what I'm there for. So the Conspiracy Palette, again, same type of concept. You've got your two fasteners and it just opens up. So I bought this palette really not expecting to like it all that much. I really don't know why I didn't think I'd like it. It just, I guess maybe the color story didn't really appeal to me when it came out, but it went on sale, so it's like, well, what the heck, I might as well get it just because of the packaging. I'm a sucker for packaging. And I've used this, I think, only one time, maybe two, and literally same thing. Gorgeous looks from this palette. So this is another really, really good one. If you've been on the fence about picking up the Conspiracy Palette and you can find it somewhere, by all means pick this up because it is gorgeous. This orange, it's like an orangey yellow. That one's gorgeous. I didn't get dipped into it too awful well, but just from one little touch, you get that. What other color in here fascinates me? This green. I love green. There's the green. They're just absolutely stunning. Let me swatch that one on my hand. I also tend, and I don't know why, I gravitate towards purples and reds. For some reason, here's the orange too. For some reason, I really like red. Red is one of my favorite colors. Love red. So I'm gonna go ahead and let me swatch this red. The red is called Flaming Hot. I'll show it to you in the palette. That is over here. And it doesn't look as true of a red in the pan as it does, or in the camera, I should say, as it does in the pan. In the pan, it's a pretty darn good red. And they will stain your eyes. Oops. Somehow I had a little black Must be from an eyeliner. A little black on there. They will stain, which again doesn't bother me. You know, I can usually get it off with either my cellar water or a good balm, and if I can't, there's always concealer. It's another really pretty one, and I don't think I've used it yet, called Spiraling. This color right here, it almost looks like a dark grayish brown. I don't think I've used that, and I really should do a glam look with that color. I'm going to go ahead and swatch that for you. Look at that on your finger. Color is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to have to do a look with that. I really need to show this palette some more love, because again, like I said, I think I've only used it once, but holy cow, I like that. I could probably almost just put that all over my lid and be happy. Put it all over my lid and go. A little eyeliner, mascara, good to go. So yes, Conspiracy palette, that's another bomb palette. Love it. Can't help it. I love Jeffree Star's makeup. I have tried his concealers and his powders, and I'm 51, so their concealers seem a little bit dry on my under eyes, so I typically don't like his concealers. And the powders, I try not to bake too much because that will settle in those fine lines and everything will look cakey. My favorite concealer, and this is just my preference, is by, I believe this is Giorgio Armani, and it's Luminous Silk. I love this. It's almost gone. So, and I don't think I've ever emptied a concealer because I have so many. But when I bought this one, it quickly became my favorite, and it's pretty much the only one I use. I'll use my Jouer, or Tarte Shape Tape was another one that was a big favorite of mine until I started using this one. This has become my all-time favorite. I have to go to Sephora and do another purchase and get a new one, because it just, I don't know, it just leaves such a dewy look to your under eye. Let's see if we can get up close. But it leaves just a glow. It brightens, and it just, my under eyes glow. And they don't look dry and cakey, which I can't stand that. So the next Jeffree Star palette that I have is the Cremated Palette. I don't know why I had to buy the Cremated Palette, because it's basically just browns and grays. But for some reason, again, it intrigued me. Because, again, you know, I'm into all that, you know, spiritual crystals. I have a couple voodoo dolls that I bought down on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, things like that. So I thought, you know, this palette would just kind of fit right into my theme. But, so this is the Cremated Palette. You've got your grays, you've got a sparkly black, some browns. You could do some, excuse me, pretty neutral looking looks with this palette. So I do really like this one too. But again, I have so many darn eyeshadow palettes that I haven't given this one as much love as I would like to either. So I need to kind of research some more looks and see what else I can do with this palette. I actually wanted to really try to recreate something similar to the look he has going on here, just because I thought that was really, really cool how he did that look. You got to admit, he has some really good presentations on his packaging, and a lot of his what do you call those? Oh, words escape me anymore. I'm 51. I can't think of words. But like his videos, campaigns, he pulls out some amazing campaigns. But again, I guess if you've got millions of dollars like Jeffree Star, you can afford to pull out those kind of campaigns and have, you know, your own makeup artists. I think he does a lot of his own looks, but he does have makeup artists that do these types of looks for his campaigns. Sadly, I'm not nearly that talented. I have absolutely no art skills whatsoever, but I can do eyeshadow and makeup. Go figure that, huh? Weird. But that's me. I'm a weirdo. So another one I have is by Jeffree Star. It's Jeffree Star and his Morphe X collab. I've got that one, and I really liked this one because this one's got a lot of fun pops of color. I tend to gravitate again towards those reds and oranges and yellows and greens. I like the fun pops of color. I do have quite a few palettes that are your neutrals, you know, your browns and your sparkles and things like that. And I like those too, but I don't know. I tend to just gravitate towards more fun looks. I want to try and get into the more fun aspect of it. You know, if I'm going to do it, then I want to kind of, you know, role play something out and just do something fun. But this is a really nice palette. This also went on sale for, God, I think I paid, this one I paid full price for, but later on when Morphe got rid of all of Jeffree Star's things, this was another one that went on sale. So it was like, I don't know, 12 bucks, something ridiculous. So I picked up a second one and gave it to a friend. So yes, that's a good color too, you know, good palette. I just love the color story with all those different pops of color. The next one that I've picked up is the Orgy Palette. And this is another neutral palette. One, again, that I really didn't want. But again, it went on sale. So it's like, well, what the heck? You know, it's super cheap right now. I'm just going to buy it because I do really love the quality of his shadows. They blend so well. You can get some really, really pretty looks. So I went ahead and purchased the Orgy Palette because this one was also on sale. So this is what the Orgy Palette looks like if you haven't purchased it or seen it. It's another one similar to Cremated. It's got a lot of your browns, your taupey colors. One thing I found about this palette itself is most of these colors are the same. There might be a shade or a half a shade difference in these colors, but 9 times out of 10 they are the same. So the top row there, all those, you know, white, brown type colors. They're not really white, but they're like off browns, off whites, very, very subtle peachy tones. They're basically the same colors. Same with every row. You don't see a whole lot of differentiation between the colors in this palette, which makes it kind of boring. But again, I picked it up because it was on sale, and I do really like his shadows. Again, I think I've used this one maybe once. So I should like dedicate a month to just Jeffree Star looks. I really should. So that's the Orgy Palette. And I think I forgot to mention the latest one, which I did do a video on this one. And this is the Blood Money, which is the greens. And now that's another color that I tend to gravitate towards is the greens. This one's a little bit tougher to open. You have to pull over. It'll be hard to do it with, there we go. Push it over with your finger and then lift up. But I went ahead and I've already done a video on this. This is just absolutely incredible. I love green. My eyes are hazel, so if I do an eyeshadow look with greens, it will pop the green in my eyes more. Same with reds. These reds and pinks and purples will typically pop out more green into my eyes. But this one is probably the only one where I bought the entire collection. So I bought the palette, I bought the highlighters, I bought the lipsticks, the eyeliners. The eyeliners, by the way, are bomb. I absolutely love the eyeliners that came with this collection. Some of them you really wouldn't think would really show up on your eyes, but they do. So I really, really like the eyeliners. I don't use a lot of greens to use the eyeliners, but there's one that's kind of like a brownish green that I could use with different combination, you know, other colors besides just these greens. But I keep forgetting I have them sometimes because I've got them separate. So I oftentimes forget I have them and forget to use them. And I tend to gravitate more towards the black. So I also, as I said, had bought the the whole collection of the Blood Money, so I went ahead and bought the lipsticks, the liquid lips, which were the Money Honey. So I did go ahead and buy those also in this collection, which again I showed in the previous video that I did a look with this. So these are really nice colors. They do tend to dry your lips out after a while. Say maybe an hour of wearing them, your lips are kind of starting to get a little dry. But in his defense, my lips get dry with pretty much any liquid lip. Even a lot of ones that YouTubers will say, oh, they don't dry your lips out at all, you know, they're so comfortable. I still have issues. My lips tend to just run dry, so I'm constantly putting, you know, some kind of chapstick on my lips. So I'm not really sure if it's the formula itself or just the fact that I struggle with liquid lips. I think a lot of people do. They tend to dry out your lips anyway. I also do have, when I bought the Blue Blood palette, I did go ahead and buy the lipsticks for the Blue Blood also. I can't say that word today. I can't say blood. It keeps wanting to come out bud. So the Blue Blood, I did buy these lippies also, which are, you got a white, you got your blues, you got a purpley blue, you know. These are more that you wouldn't wear typically, I don't think, out on a daily basis. If you're going for, you know, hey, I want to go for some wild and crazy look and, you know, I'm just feeling bold today, then these are great. You know, pop on a blue shadow, be different, you know, throw something different out there. And so I use those for that. You can also multi-use these things for your eyes. So you probably wouldn't want to do it after you've used them on your lips, or maybe take a brush and dip the brush into one of the lipsticks, and you can actually use that as a base for an eyeshadow. I've seen people do that. I have yet to try it, but I know that you can do that with these, and they dry down. And from what I've seen of other YouTubers doing it, it really looks beautiful. They'll, you know, put that on their eye as a base and then put a color over it. And it really does turn out great. I've been meaning to try it, but I have yet to do it. So that is my Jeffree Star collection so far, minus the highlight. I didn't pull the highlighters out because I've showed them, and I'm not wearing green today, so I didn't want to use that highlighter. Here are all my glosses that I got with the collection. I got all the glosses to go with it and all the eyeliners. I just keep them in a separate little pouch. So if I ever want to pop on an eyeliner, this is, you know, when I'm using one of his collections, or even some of these colors you can top over, you know, any color you'd want, which is another neat little thing you can do with these. So I absolutely love Jeffree Star's products. I think they are amazing. They blend well together. If you don't have any and you want to try it, it's really good. I think they're really great formulas for eyeshadows. So one thing that I didn't do today when I did my makeup, changing the subject, I did not put on my blush. And the reason I did not do it is because I purchased some other things through a different makeup company, and this is called Patrick Ta. So I don't know if you've heard of Patrick Ta. He's another makeup artist that recently came out with a collection of makeup items, and they just redid some blushes. They did a whole new collection of blushes, and it is called the Double Take Cream and Powder Blush. I believe it's the Double Take collection. So this color that I picked up is Oh, She's Different. And I've worn it a couple of times, and I have to admit it is one of my favorite blushes. It's another package that's a little bit difficult to open. It just kind of snaps. It snaps down here, and you just pull up on it and you open it up. Now this comes with a powder blush and a cream blush. And the way that he recommends that you apply this blush is that it's exact opposite of what we've ever been told. You apply your powder blush first. Then after you apply your powder blush, you apply your cream over top of it. Now, these powder blushes, this does layer perfectly. It layers great. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to use this right here for you guys so you can see how this wears and how this looks. It's absolutely gorgeous. I really, really do love this formula. I also have a Natasha Denona formula that's similar, and I like this one too. This one here is by Natasha Denona, and this is kind of the same concept. Hers are a little bit more shimmery, her blush colors. This is like a peachier blush, and then this is more of a shimmery type of highlighter. And then up here, you have more of your creams. That's almost, I think, more like a cream to powder, that one. Which is pretty bright. Now, you would think that that would like be too bright for your face, but really that does work. And then this one here, again, is your cream that you top over it. Now, you can do it both ways. I've just followed the way that they say to do it by putting the powder first and then layering the cream on top of the powder. This one's Natasha Denona, by the way, which I'm not going to go ahead and I'm not going to use this one today. I will in another video, though. I will do a demonstration of this Natasha Denona compared to the new Patrick Ta. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on right here for you guys so you can watch. So I'm just going to take an average blush brush. Of course, I don't want to have my big mirror out here and then have myself out of frame. So I'm going to take just an average brush blush. This one is by Wayne Goss. I picked up. He has fabulous brushes also, by the way. They're a little pricier, but I love them. Like, they're really good brushes. Sigma has good brushes. I use a lot of Sigma. I just put a little bit on my brush. You can build this up. Always start out with less and then work your way up if you feel more, because it's so much easier to add than it is to take away. So I start very little. So just take my blush and just put it right on the apple of my cheeks and right up in here, like so. Now, I always hold my brush down here, so I'm not hitting that, you're not getting that hard of a stroke, because you want to try to stay as light as possible and then build as you go up, versus, again, like I said, you don't want to add too much too quick. Just kind of build. I think that right there actually is a pretty good color. I don't think I want to really go any deeper than that. So we'll add a little more, tap off a little bit of the extra, and do the same to the other side. I always kind of take my blush right on up through here. That's just my preference. Get it around my ear. Sorry, hold my mirror. I want to make sure I'm getting it. It's harder to see through this viewfinder on the phone. Let's see, do I match? It's another thing. For some reason, I have a hard time matching sides. I always seem like this side I see better than this side. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's my lighting or what, but I always tend to notice more on this side than I do on this side. So sometimes I'll tend to get this side darker than, or this side darker than this side, because I don't see it as well. So let's go ahead and not going to really add much more, because I'm sure what the heck, right? I'll add just a little bit more. Be brave. Go big or go home. I'll cry about that statement later. But no, not really. I can fix it if it's too dark. But I think that looks pretty good. I think I match now. Yes. So the next thing I do is I take a beauty blender, just my basic beauty blender, and then I take this, and I just use a beauty blender. You could use a brush if you wanted to, and I dip that, just kind of maybe do a little swipe and then tap, so you have just a little. This is pigmented, so this will layer right over it, and you're gonna see, we'll start with this side and just tap it in. And the big key is to just keep tapping and blending. Tap, tap, blend. Tap, tap, blend. Sometimes I repeat that to myself over and over and over. Tap, tap, blend. Tap, tap, blend. I even have my boyfriend doing it now. When he sees me doing this, he'll sit in the living room going, tap, tap, blend. Do you see how beautiful that looks? It just gives that subtle, and that's not even with a highlighter. I am not wearing a highlighter, and it just gives my cheek that glow. It's like a glow from within. It's gorgeous. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing. Just put that mirror down. Go ahead and do the same thing. Tap into my powder, or cream. Sorry, tap into the cream. So I got a little bit on my sponge, and do the same thing right to this side. Tap, 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 blend. You don't want to slide because you don't want to move your product that's under there. You want to try not to move your foundation. I did contour, but I contoured down here. So this side, again, I feel like I got this side just a hair darker than the other side, but I don't know. I think it's my lighting. I always feel like this side just turns out darker. And then it's the opposite on my eyes. I always find that when I do my eye makeup, this eye always seems to look better than this eye. No idea why. I'll even sometimes go, into the bathroom where it's a little bit different of a light and see if I'm matching. But for some reason, I think maybe this eye has more wrinkles, eye wrinkles, lid wrinkles than this eye does, because I can typically pull a wing off better on this eye than I can on this eye. So I'm just a weirdo. Again, if you want, you can just kind of hit over your nose a little bit where the sun would hit. Usually do that last, so you're not really getting a whole lot of product there, but just enough to kind of look like you got yourself a little bit of sun. And that is it for the blush. I absolutely love this blush. I didn't think I could ever find a blush that I'd like as much as this, but I just do. It just looks so glowy and dewy and healthy. I love it. So the next thing I purchased, again, that was, let me tell you again the color. This is the color Oh She's Different, and I think there's 4 different colors that you can get in this collection. I only bought the one. I believe it cost $34 for this blush and cream. The packaging itself, of course, you can see the fingerprints. It's kind of like a rose gold, so it's going to fingerprint up, but product, outstanding. Love it. So I went ahead and I purchased the lip color and the lip liner because I thought this color was gorgeous. It's almost like it's a red, but it's like a pinky red. Now you want to be careful with this lip liner here because it's a click pen. Once you click this out, you cannot get it to retract back in. So you only want to click out the amount that you're going to use because you can't get it back in once it's there. So I click it just a couple of times so you can just see a little bit of it. And then let me swatch it first so you can see it. It's almost like a pinky red. Kind of like a hot pink in a way. So I figured I'd put this on too and show you guys how this works. Put a little bit of lip oil on my lips again because my lips are usually bothering me kind of dry. And I'm not the best at lining lips. Lips are not my forte. Now, a tip I got from watching a makeup artist on YouTube was to actually take your lip liner into the edges and shade in there just a little bit. It's the first time I'm using it. I have not used this trick yet, so we're going to see if it looks ridiculous on me. But just kind of shade in those hard to reach corners. And then add a crusty there. Just a little. For some extra shadow. So that's the liner. And these colors are She's Hard to Get. That's the color in the pencil. I also picked up the lipstick shade, also in She's Hard to Get. I normally cannot pull off reds. Like, reds are really hard for me to pull off. I tend to look like a clown when I try to wear a red. But I liked this one because it ran more towards a bright pink versus a red. So we're going to see. This is my first time using this one too. We're going to see if the color looks ridiculous on me. So, She's Hard to Get. And with this, you're just kind of going over. And actually that makeup artist, instead of doing what I just did, they just tap. and then use your finger to blend it in, which makes an incredible mess for me. But yes, ooh, that matches my eyes. That matches this eye really good. So this is what that color is like. His packaging is pretty. It's not very heavy. It looks pretty. It doesn't have, you know, a lot of weight to it. The lipstick itself doesn't have a scent like Charlotte Tilbury, and her lipsticks tend to have like a vanilla or a cake scent, where this one doesn't really have a scent. But yeah, I like it. And I gotta clean out my sides. But what do y'all think? What do you think about this look? Matches my hair. Now my hair, my sister is a hairdresser, so she did my hair, and I told her, you know what, I want some purple, but I want just a semi. I want something that'll wash out 2-3 shampoos, because I'm letting my hair go completely gray, or as gray as it's gonna. I thought I was gonna actually be more gray than I am at this point. I was told one point that I was like 70% gray when I used to color my hair. So I decided, well, you know, I'm 51 and gray's in. Like, people are paying, what, hundreds of dollars to have their hair colored gray. And it's like, well, crap, I got gray hair. So I decided I'm just going to let it grow in. So I probably started a little over a year ago growing out my gray. So I figure this way, rather than going and having it, you know, bleached to match the gray, it was killing my hair. Like, my hair it's just dead and fried. So it's like, well, I'm not going to bleach anymore. I'm just going to let all the gray go, and then I can put fun colors in it, and they'll just wash out, and then I can do another fun color. And I don't have to bleach. You're just putting color over your hair versus bleaching your hair out. So much healthier. So I tell my sister, hey, let's put a purple in, you know, give me a semi, wash out in a couple shampoos, and then I can try something different, you know, hey, maybe, you know, green or whatever color, you know, that I wanted to do. Well, the purple has not washed out. I think I have had this purple now for 6 weeks, and it's still as purple can be. She just highlighted it, you know, mostly highlighted the sides. And I tend to typically wear my hair parted over like this. If I had it down, you'd see more purple over on this side. But I just tend to throw my hair the other way. But yes, so this is a semi in my hair. I cannot get rid of it. It's like, dang it. But I like it anyway. It's not, and everybody loves it. Everybody compliments it and says, I love your hair. Saying I love it too. I just would have loved it more if it would have washed out after 2 or 3 shampoos like it was supposed to. But that's cool. So now I guess I'm stuck with purple hair until this grows out. Yay me. But it does match my makeup today. So comment. What do you guys think? Do you like this eyeshadow? Do you like the colors? What do you think about the blush, Patrick Ta? I didn't put any highlighter on. I may add some later. I am not sure if I'm going to or if I'm not. But yeah, I mean, it's got that glow from within look, I think anyway. What are your opinions? Comment down in the section of your opinions of what you think of the eyeshadow look, the lipstick, and the blush combos. And also keep watch. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, because I will be doing some of the videos where I kind of declutter some of my extra things. And I will probably end up doing a big giveaway at some point this month. So like and subscribe to my video, and keep in touch. I'll keep in touch, and we'll do a big giveaway. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Sorry it's been so long. I tend to ramble. All right. Thanks guys. Bye-bye.